No, sir.
Just you and MJ. How crazy.
Welcome to Ole Walls' house. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back with you. Episode number 107 about to come your way, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start off, as I always do, saying thank you to everybody. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the watches. Thank you for the listens. Just thanks for being fans out there. You know, tough times here for Ole Walls after a rough weekend of Packer fandom. But I appreciate all you guys coming to support me in my times of need. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to producer Kevin, as always. As you guys know, I always ask this every week, too. If you guys could you please rate, review, comment, subscribe, and share the show? It helps a lot. So obviously this week we're talking NFL playoffs, Packers, the rest of the divisional round. A little preview of next week's conference championships. We got the Flyers to talk about. We got some college basketball. We got some golf. Golf's back on the menu, boys. We got my passing thoughts. So a fun show coming. And before we get to it, Liquid IV. If you guys are looking for Liquid IV, I love Liquid IV. I use the Concord grape flavor. They got a bunch of other flavors. I've listed them off a million times. But if you want 20% off to carry that nice little convenient package around, you dump in 16 ounces of water, you get 3 times the hydration of water alone, twice as many electrolytes as the leading sports drink. Liquid IV is donating over 39 million gallons of water. And, I use it every morning. I use it every single morning pretty much. I say that, and I didn't use it this morning. I'm going to use it soon. But yeah, I love it. And if you're looking for 20% off, the promo code is OWH, O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. So 20% off Liquid IV at liquidiv.com or the link in the show notes below. Promo code OWH, 20% off Liquid IV. All right, let's get to the show. We got to do it. We got to start here. The Green Bay Packers. Pain. That's what I felt Saturday night. Nothing but pain. Just deep in my heart. Just pain. It happened again. They got me. I was in. I've been in. I've been out. I've been in and out. I'm back. Then I was gone. Then I knew they were going to fuck me over and let me down. So I said, see ya. And then I came back in. And I was wearing a fucking helmet around. The Green Bay Packers. So many missed opportunities. They should have won that football game. They should have won the game. All right. I got to resettle. I got to refocus. I've had some time for reflection. I said at the start of the week, I said after the win in the wild card that no matter what, next week was a success. They just got there. Like, this wasn't a team that was supposed to be there. And there were so many problems. There was a savage dropped pick that was probably going to be a pick six that would have made it, I think, 10-0 at that point. The red zone was an issue. The first 3 drives, they only had 6 points, 2 field goals and a turnover on downs. That spot was bullshit. They were giving bullshit spots out all night, and that spot was bullshit. That one might not have been as bad, but in my mind, in hindsight, it was bad. But they go, their final red zone stats are 6 trips to the red zone or 6 trips inside the 25. Essentially the same thing here. 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals, a missed field goal, and a turnover on downs. And despite all the red zone troubles, the drop pick from Savage, the Packers get a stop going into the half. They get a stop on the opening drive of the second half, and then they score a touchdown. They scored a touchdown to take the lead. To take the lead in the football game coming into the second half, they scored a touchdown to go up 13-7. They gave up another touchdown after that. That's going to happen. The 49ers are good at football. The problem was, then we get the kickoff of all kickoffs. Oh, by the way, when those lead changes that I just mentioned, or in this game in general, First time in the playoffs to that point that there had been any lead changes. So then the 49ers score. McCaffrey runs it in. He's fucking inevitable. And there was the kickoff that almost fucking killed me. Keyshawn Nixon takes it back. He could just kind of skirt up the sideline. He decides to cut it back. He fumbles. There just happens to be a Packers player completely trailing the play, still running for thank God, and he's in the absolute right spot at the right time and falls on it. The Packers go score. They get the 2-point conversion. It is now 21-14. They are up a full touchdown. They enter the fourth quarter winning the game. They were up a touchdown. They kicked the field goal right at the start of the fourth quarter. When that happens, moral victories go out the window. There's no I'm just happy for this week. Had they lost by 2 touchdowns, I'd probably sit here and say, hey, they just got, they're up against a team that outmatched them and outplayed them. The problem is the fucking Packers outplayed the 49ers this week. And they had the lead in the fourth quarter. And I know we can sit here and say, yes, this was a team that sucked at the beginning of the year. It's Jordan Love's first year. It's the youngest team to ever win a playoff game. I get all that, man. The strides we've taken, it's turned me from a hater at the start of the year into a believer, into a hater, into a believer, into someone fucking heartbroken again. The heartbreak is real. But when it all comes down to, in the playoffs against the number 1 team in the NFC with a chance to go to a conference championship, you had the lead going into the fourth quarter. When that happens, I'm sorry, moral victories are out the window. I'm not just going to be some nice guy from Wisconsin. Oh, well, it was a good try. We'll try again next year. No, there's absolutely no guarantee that we're even in the playoffs next year, let alone win a game, let alone have the lead with a chance to go to the conference championship in the fourth quarter in the divisional playoffs, the divisional round of the playoffs. It was a letdown. The team played great for 3 quarters. Jordan Love played great football for 3 quarters. Maybe not great, above average, good football. Wasn't his best, but he was doing just fine. He was looking good again. And then the fourth quarter happened, and the 3-and-out started. And even after on the drive where we're pinned at the 10, Aaron Jones busts ones for 53 yards, and then the drive completely stalls out. Jordan Love misses some throws. They can't get it. We're stuck with a 41-yard field goal for Anders Carlson. And it went exactly how you would think it would go. He missed it. Of course he missed it. Why wouldn't he miss it? You get stalled out, and this is the field goal to put the game out of reach. Of course he's fucking missing it. He's a rookie kicker. And then, everything happened. And then, that's his 5th straight game with a miss. He has the most missed field goals of any kicker in the NFL, I believe I also heard. And then down come the 49ers, and they score. And you can argue clock management on the way in, but the Packers get the ball with a couple times. I think they had 2 timeouts. I can't remember if they saved all 3, or I think they just, I don't know. They had at least 2. They might have had 3 timeouts. They have a little over a minute. They moved the ball up a couple of plays. They advanced the ball. I think it's 2nd down, and Jordan Love throws the worst interception you can throw in the scenario. He's working right. He throws it back across his body into triple coverage. There's no excuse for throwing it. You still had 45 seconds with, I think, at least 2 timeouts at that point. It was 2nd down, so you had 2 more plays. Just throw it away. And hey, young quarterback, mistakes are going to happen. I get it. I'm not even oh my God, I can't believe it. Yeah, it happens. That happens. You get the problems is before that when you've gone 3-and-out 3 times in the fourth quarter, your drive stalls out after you bust a big one out of your own fucking shadow, your own end zone, and you can't make a kick. And it's over. And I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm thinking, I'm so pissed, but I'm thinking at the same time, hey, I watched 2 games of playoff football Where should I feel? And like I think I said, this season was a success in a way. And it's going to end with the sourest taste that it darn near possibly could end. Because they had a chance in the fourth quarter on multiple occasions to put this game away and move on to the conference championship against the Lions team you would have already beat or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is a beatable team. It turns out it's the Lions. I don't know how many opportunities like that will continue to present itself. Because you think, oh, yeah. Jordan Love, though, he's the man. He's the man. And hey, I've come a long way on how I feel about Jordan Love. But let's remember, oh, yeah, he's the man. They're going to be back. You sure? Aaron Rodgers has never been back. He won that Super Bowl in 2010. It felt like we were going to rip off a bunch of them. Big year next year, got even better. Losing the fucking divisional round. Losing the conference championship in Seattle. The Arizona wild card game. Get pummeled by the Falcons in the conference championship. Get pummeled by the 49ers in the conference championship. The two other 49ers years that I skipped over where Colin Kaepernick was going absolutely fucking whatever. He was just going fucking nuts. The Tampa Bay year. The last time we were in the playoffs, the block punt against the 49ers. Like, all of a sudden, these golden opportunities, if you don't connect on them, it's not like just a given. Like, it's not just a given that because this team is young and improved, they're going back to the playoffs. They've come a long way. I've got some hope for next year. I'm optimistic for next year. But, like, if I'm sitting here in November or December and the team's 500 and they're battling for a playoff spot again, like, that's not an absurd thought. And I'm hearing a lot of, not I'm hearing a lot. I saw an Adam Schefter said that they're, and I've been kind of depressed enough that I'm not looking at a lot of Packers news, but I did see one that Adam Schefter said that the Packers are preparing to give Jordan Love a huge contract. And again, I've come a long way on Jordan Love. I think he's the answer long term. I do. I think he's going to be the answer long term. And I have zero doubt that the Packers are going to make him the answer long term. Like, that's going to happen. I think it's the right play, if I would guess. Now, I also thought he sucked dick, so I mean, take it for what it's worth. But he's had half of a good season, one good playoff game, and then a playoff game he completely crumbled in. Can we maybe just go with like a 2 or 3 year deal for not worth $1 billion, but, you know, give him some good money, give him some security, and then be like, hey, if you show another year like this, we'll extend that out and then we'll fucking pay you. Do we have to jump in? We're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers' cap room this year. Do we have to eat it all up on just Jordan Love, a guy who's given us half a year of good football? I just don't know. I'm not ready for that commitment. I think the Green Bay Packers are. But I would just like to be like, hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we bump you? We'll extend you. We'll get you some more money, but you ain't getting the whole boat right now. You got to do this for a full season. I mean, he's done this for 9 weeks. It's been awesome, but he's done it for 9 weeks. Stranger things have happened for that amount of time in the NFL. Robert Griffin was really fucking good for a while. And by a while, I think it was 1 season. Colin Kaepernick was really good for 3-4 years? Who else? Like, do we want to just keep doing that? Geno Smith had a great year last year. Wasn't the same this year. Baker Mayfield has gone up and down. He's led the Browns to the playoffs. He had some down years. He got booted out of Carolina. Now he's back again. Like, this shit, it's an ebb and a flow. And I feel like all of a sudden that every Packers fan I talk to is like, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be next year. Next year will be great again. Oh, yeah. Oh, Jordan Love. He's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Like, we had a chance, man. We had a chance. We had a chance and we didn't capitalize. And I've seen the Packers not capitalize on chances. And we've just gotten lucky that we've been able to just go from one chance to another chance to another chance to another chance. We've watched Brett Favre throw balls away, and then all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers just rolls into town and everything's okay again. Don't worry. We're not going to be that lucky forever, man. And maybe we got lucky again. Jordan Love seems to be a QB that can lead us somewhere, but I don't know. This was a golden opportunity, and we didn't take it. It's a golden opportunity. Golden opportunity. Pain. 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 That's all I got in the Green Bay Packers. Let's keep going. On to the rest of the NFL. The first game of the weekend was the Ravens at the Texans. The Texans gave it a good showing in the first half, but as time wore on, it just the better team proved to be the Baltimore Ravens. Like, this is the game. This is what I envisioned the Packers game being. And I really don't think I would be nearly as upset if this is just what happened. They hung around the first half, and the better team showed up in the second half. It was tied at halftime, and then away the Ravens went. And Lamar Jackson, who's gotten some flack, I know I've given him flack that you can win a lot in the regular season, but if you don't win in the postseason, it doesn't matter. He was 1-4 in the playoffs coming into this game. But he had himself a game, my man. He had himself a game. 16 of 22 for 150 yards, 52 yards through the air with 2 touchdowns. He threw in another 100 yards on the ground and 2 more touchdowns. He was balling. He balled out. He's like, if people are going to talk shit about me, I'm going to give them a reason not to. And he sure did. There wasn't a touchdown he didn't account for. There were a couple more field goals by Justin Tucker. And it was just a total domination. I mean, they just ran it all over them. 230 rushing yards to just 38 for the Texans. It was terrible weather, if I remember correctly. I missed some of the first half of this game. Is it terrible weather there too? I don't know. Who knows? Whatever. Saturday is a myth to me now. Just the pain. The pain has set in. I'm just still hurting. I'm still hurting from the Packers. Whatever. We'll move on. We'll keep going. Texans, good year. Good year. Rookie quarterback, first-year head coach. Win the division, win a game in the playoffs over a Browns defense that had been pretty good at points this year. But, hey, sometimes you just run up against a different level of team, and that's what the Ravens are. They're a different level of team. The Ravens, for the first time in franchise history, this blew my mind, will host an AFC title game. The last time there was an AFC championship game in Baltimore someone was saying, it was the Colts, obviously. 1971, the Baltimore Colts beat the Oakland Raiders. So the Baltimore Colts obviously are the Indianapolis Colts now. The Baltimore Ravens have never hosted a AFC title game, which has shocked me. They've won a couple of Super Bowls. They've been a pretty good franchise, had a lot of success in the years, and have never hosted an AFC title game. So, for the first time, they will host one. They will host the Kansas City Chiefs, which we'll get to later. But let's go to the other NFC game. We'll go in kind of chronological order. I know we jumped out of order with the Packers, but we move on to Sunday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They were hanging around with the Lions. Baker Mayfield was slinging it about the field, 349 yards, 3 touchdowns, couple interceptions. One wasn't really his fault, hit a guy in the hands. And the Bucs were hanging around. They tie it up right before halftime, tie it up right before the fourth quarter. The Lions get a couple there in the fourth to kind of to spread it out, but Baker wasn't done yet. They found Mike Evans down the sideline a couple of times, and they made it interesting at least. Like I said, a lot of pass yards. This game had a lot more offense going on, especially once you got to like the middle of the second quarter. Right after the first quarter was slow, but then that second quarter, right after the Lions scored the touchdown, there's 12:33 left in the second quarter when they scored that touchdown. Then we got some points, and it was fun game to watch. The Lions, 2 games in a row at home, they win them. They are heading back to the NFC championship game for the first time since 1991, and only the second time ever in an NFC championship game. Previous history, I think they dominated pretty well in like the 50s in the NFL before it merged with the AFL. Let's see if I can find some. Yeah, the Lions won 4 NFL championship games between 1930 and 1957. From 1957, the franchise did not win a playoff game until 1991. So this is an even worse drought than it had been previously. No, previously was even a worse drought than this one. 57 till 91, so that's 34 years. This was 32 years. Wow. Only team and only franchise in history for the entirety of the Super Bowl era to not appear in a Super Bowl. Ooh, oofta. Oofta, oofta. They started off as the Portsmouth Spartans, in case you were wondering. Yeah, the 50s, dominant. 52, 53, 57. They won 4 conference championships back in the old NFL pre-merger. The NFL National Conference in 52, then the NFL Western in 53, 54, and 57. They also did win the NFC Central in 1993. How did they not host a playoff game if they won the league? They're supposed to be... Current free agent system was introduced in 1993. The NFC Central was the Packers, Vikings, Bears, Lions, and Bucks. The East was the Arizona Cardinals, Dallas Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Redskins. The West was the Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, Rams, and 49ers. God, I love it. Makes no sense. Okay, play clock was reduced from... I got it. Get on task. How did they not host the playoff game? So they won the NFC Central. How did they not? No, they hosted a playoff game in 93. They just hadn't won one since 91. I thought they hadn't even hosted a playoff game. I feel like people are leaving this out. I feel like the whole thing is like they haven't hosted a game since 91. They hosted a game in 1993. The Green Bay Packers beat them. And then we're beat by the eventual Super Bowl champion, Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Yeah, so that nice little detour through history that you got there. So yeah, the Lions are moving on. The Lions are moving on. And then the game of the weekend, the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, they continue adding to this one-sided rivalry they've got in the playoffs. It's been a little better for the Bills in the regular season, but hey, the playoffs are where it matters. Patrick Mahomes, in his first ever road playoff game, goes into Ralph Wilson Stadium. That's not what it's called anymore. What is it called now? Is it... Now we got to go on another detour. What is the Bills Stadium called? Highmark Stadium. It used to be called Ralph Wilson. It was something else for a minute here, too. It was Rich Stadium from 1973 to 1997. Then Ralph Wilson from 98 to 50. New Era Field from 16 to 19. That was Bills Stadium in 2020. Interesting. So they are replacing that. And this ties in. This actually makes sense. They're replacing that stadium. They're building a new one. Their new one's just basically a big hole right now. And Bills fans, the first week in the Bills winning streak, a Bills fan fell into it and had to go to the hospital. And allegedly, there have been Bills fans sacrificing themselves to the pit every week since then. Unfortunately, if there was someone who sacrificed themselves to the pit, it did not work this week. This was a back-and-forth game. We were scoring touchdowns left and right in the first quarter. I mean, there was a lot of scores going on. I shouldn't say touchdowns. There were a lot of scores. We did get 3 touchdowns right in the second quarter and then a couple more in the third. But, yeah, back and forth, lead changes. I mean, what more could you ask for? This was a fun game. Started to get crazy late. The Bills decided to go for it on 4th down from their own 30, down in the game. I think it was 24? No. I think it was 27-24 at this point. Yes, it was 27-24. The Bills went for it. They ran like a fake punt. Damar Hamlin ended up with the ball. And there was one of the announcers did say there may have only been 10 men on the field, so maybe it was an automatic, like, hey, if there's only 10 guys, we go now and we run a fake. They don't get it. The Chiefs are bringing it right back down, and then the worst rule in football rears its ugly head again. And, God, if they change it this year, people are going, they change it because of the Chiefs. The Chiefs got the rule change. Ah! Nicole Hardman fumbles into the back of the end zone. Not called originally. Replay gets it right, and it was close. Either way, it gives the Bills the ball back. I don't know I think it was this drive. I don't know. Again, depression from the Packers. The Bills go down. They get into field goal range to tie the game. I want to say something. Tyler Bass is going to get all the blame because he misses wide right after they have a chance to tie the game. Josh Allen dropped an absolute fucking dime into Stephon Diggs' hands from like 60 yards. And it hit his hands. And it went right through it. Right through it. So while we all pile on Tyler Bass for missing a field goal to tie the game, we hear wide right in Buffalo one more time. Let's just remember Stephon Diggs had a pretty good fucking... It hit him. Whoopsies. And the Chiefs run it out. The Chiefs get a good game from Patrick Mahomes. Not surprised, 17-23. Isaiah Pacheco, 15 carries, 97 yards. The Bills were the Josh Allen show. He accounted for 3 touchdowns. He ran it for 72 yards on top of throwing it for $186. But it just the Bills were the Bills. I feel you, Bills fans. I feel you. And Travis Kelce reemerged from the dead. He's sending hearts up to, Taylor Swift. Jason Kelce being an absolute fucking superhero up there. But yeah, the Chiefs pull it off again. Mahomes and Kelce now have converted for the most touchdowns of any quarterback receiving duo in playoff history, 16 times. And the Chiefs will advance to the AFC Championship game for the 6th straight year. 6 straight years. Andy Reid had previously been in 4 straight NFC title games with the Eagles. Now 6 straight AFC title games with the Kansas City Chiefs. If Andy Reid is able to get this done again this year with this Chiefs team, we got to be talking all-time greats. I mean, what more can you say about the guy? With the Bills, do they need to change it up? How long has McDermott been there? And this was mentioned at the end of the broadcast. It's not like I'm coming up with this all on my own, but it was a good point. And sometimes you do. You just need to change. Something about it has to change, and Doug McDermott may be the guy that something needs to change. He's been there since 2017. What? Josh Allen got there in 19 or 20? He made his first regular season appearance on September 9th after Peterman was benched after posting a 0.0 passer rating. Oh, fucking Peterman. Poor guy. So, yeah, 18. He played 12 games in 18, and then he started ever since. So, 19. We'll call it 19. It's his first year. Yeah. I mean, they've been good. Made it to the playoffs every year since then. Lost in the AFC Championship game. In 19, they lose to the Texans in the wild card. 20 Chiefs in the championship, 21 Chiefs in the divisional, 22 Bengals in the divisional, 23 Chiefs in the divisional. So they haven't been back to the AFC championship game since 2020. Oof. I don't know. It just, you feel like maybe something has to change. And unfortunately, it just maybe Doug McDermott. Maybe they just need a new feel in there. So we got two good championship games coming, though. Excited for conference championship weekend. Lions 49ers will be the nightcap at 6:30. I love it. I love it. I'm doing the Succession meme there. I love the 3 o'clock 6:30. It's even better in the Central Time Zone. 2 o'clock 5:30. 2 o'clock is early enough, but it's not too late in the day, so you can go do some things, but it doesn't take forever to get here. 5:30 is perfect. I was in bed at 9 o'clock last night. Hallelujah. But yeah, Chiefs-Ravens is going to be fun. 49ers-Lions is going to be fun. I'm excited. I'm going to go on record. The Chiefs get it done. They go into Baltimore and they get it done. And the 49ers will handle the Lions. They'll bounce back from kind of a rough game. I didn't even talk about the 49ers. Brock Purdy looked like a pumpkin at points, but totally did not finish as a pumpkin. Could have gone for more pumpkin from Brock Purdy. I think the Chiefs and the 49ers will be playing in Vegas on February 11th. All right, let's keep rolling. Flyers update time. Oh, man, great start to the week. The Flyers went into St. Louis, beat the Blues, absolutely kind of just dominated the Dallas Stars, 5-1. And Owen Tippett had one of the best goals I've ever seen. Now, granted, that's not a long time, just a couple of years here. But he was coming down on the break. He went middle, then kind of went spin move back, and then just flipped it into the top right shelf, the upper deck, I think the hockey folks call it. And all in one kind of just spinny motion. It was impressive. It was really impressive. I was watching it. I'd made it to my bedroom at that point because they had started to get a little out of hand. But god damn, what a goal, my man. The Flyers were hot. It felt like everything was rolling. Then the Avalanche just fucking boat raced them. 7-4 on Saturday afternoon. Got out early, 2-0. They had goals, 3 more goals in the second, and 2 more in the third. Despite that, the Flyers outshot them by a boatload. I think it was 40-26, 40-25. 40-25. Oof. Then Sunday, for some reason, I can't get the game. Everything I Google tells me I should be able to watch the game on ESPN Plus, where I watch all the Flyers games, unless they're on NHL or like TNT. I can't find it. Can't find it for the life of me. Why didn't I watch the Saturday game? Oh, I was helping some people move. That's why I didn't watch it. Sunday, I can't find it. I can't watch the game, so I don't get to watch it. At one point, I see they're up 3-1 in the second period. I'm like, damn, this is good. The Senators, they stink. We're bouncing back. Yeah, it was 3-1 halfway through the second period, a little over. And then not long after that, Tim Stützle scored a goal to make it 3-2. Then early in the third, former Flyers captain Claude Giroux scores to make it 3-3. Then we play some more time in the third. About 5 minutes left in the game. Tarasenko scores to make it 4-3. Ottawa. Then Stützle, he's back. He dumps in an empty netter with about a minute and a half left. And all of a sudden, a 3-1 lead in the middle of the second period becomes a 5-3 loss to the lowly Ottawa Senators. What the fuck happened? A good week. Good week gone awry. Now, that said, as of Monday now, the Flyers are still in first place. They are not in first place. They are still in second place. Second place. That's going to change. They're a couple games out ahead of everybody. They play this week, a kind of a tough week again. They host the Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow, Tuesday. Then on Thursday, they go to Detroit. Those teams are both kind of in contention for a playoff spot. They're a couple games back, a couple points back. I got to quit saying games. A couple points back in their division, the Eastern Division, the Atlantic Division. Sorry, the Atlantic Division. They're a couple points back of the third spot. Just 1 point back each. 1 point back each. They both have 53 points. Third place, Maple Leafs with 54. They are currently both occupying the 2 wild card slots out ahead of the Islanders and Capitals. So 2 tough games. 2 tough games there. And then Saturday, a matinee, if you will. It's an 11:30 game. It's 11:30. That must mean it's on national TV in some way, shape, or form. I would have to assume. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. But they do host the Boston Bruins, one of the best teams in the league. So tough week coming up to hold on to that that number 2 spot in the division. While some other teams probably are going to catch up on games. So it'll be a tough week. See if they can hold on to it. All right, let's move on to the Tar Heels. Quick swig of water first. You got to stay hydrated, people. Stay hydrated out there. Liquid IV, 20% off. The Heels. Heels notch a couple more wins this week. They stay atop the ACC standings. And, they've got an interesting week with teams that maybe you wouldn't, think of as that great right now, but are pretty solid in the fact that they are both in second place in the ACC. The 5-2 Wake Forest Demon Deacons will be Monday night, tonight, shortly here, coming right around the corner. And then they're off till Saturday when they will go to Florida State. Again, a 5-2 team in the ACC. So, a couple of important games to stay out ahead of the kind of the nearest competition. They are currently undefeated in league play at 7-0. They are 15-3 overall. They were the number 4 ranked team in the nation. Oh, they've popped up to 3. It looks like it would make sense that the new poll is out. Let me see if I can find the new poll, the top 25. College basketball top 25. UConn, Purdue, top AP men's college basketball poll. Kansas slides to 7. Yeah, UConn gets 44 first place votes. Purdue, 17. North Carolina in at number 3 now. Duke falls to 12 after being upset at home by the Pittsburgh Panthers. Pittsburgh. Friend of the program, Mr. Matt Wader, was in fact in attendance. Tough one for him. Sorry, Matt. It is a little disappointing because Carolina and Duke is not this Saturday, but the following. And they were set to have, if not a top 10 matchup, maybe a top 5 matchup. And hopefully Duke slides their way back up in the top 10. It's always cool if you have Duke, Carolina, and it's 2 single-digit numbers, down on the bottom scoreboard there. So, elsewhere in college basketball, Texas. I believe they are coached by a man by the name of Rodney Terry. He had a problem. That UCF was doing horns down after UCF beat him. I have a problem with him having a problem. So you got beat. And they horns down you, buddy. Tough shit. You know how you stop them from doing horns down? You win the fucking game. You don't want to get horns down. You don't want to get danced on. You don't want teams celebrating. You don't want teams talking shit. There's a simple answer for all of this. You win the game. You know what happens when you win? You get to dictate what the winners do. When you lose, you get to dictate what the losers do. Not the fucking other way around. So You got beat. Fucking deal with it. What makes this even more annoying, and this was, I saw this on Twitter. Barstool posted, maybe Reegs was the guy who did it. One of Rodney Terry's quotes after getting beat by UCF at home, by the way, they beat him in Texas, was that we don't jump up and down and act like we won a national championship. Interesting choice of words, partner, because Texas got a big win on Saturday. They beat in-state rival Baylor. When that final buzzer hit, what do you think Rodney Terry was doing? Rodney was jumping up and down. Woo! Yeah, fist bumps. Don't be such a bitch. You got beat by UCF. They rubbed your fucking nose in it with the horns down. Deal with it, pussy. Stop being a bitch. Win the game, and no one can horns down you, Texas. Fucking thought they were supposed to be tough down there in Texas. Obviously not Rodney. Let's go on in a list of other sports here. The golf world. We're into the PGA Tour season now, folks. We're gonna have some golf stuff going on. Nick Dunlap, an amateur from Alabama. I believe he is the reigning U.S. amateur champion, United States amateur champion. I believe he is an Alabama player. Yes, he currently goes to Alabama. Won the American Express this weekend after a little help from Sam Burns, I believe. I didn't watch a bunch of it. I watched him play the last two holes. But yeah, he won the U.S. Amateur back in August. And then here in February, he beat Gordon Sargent in the first round of the match play. Wow, that's a good win. He's only the second guy in history to win both the U.S. Junior Am and the U.S. Amateur. Tiger Woods is the other guy. But yeah, wins the American Express, shoots 12 under in the third round to get himself in contention. First AM since Phil won in 1991 at the Tucson Open. So he wins. Now we're talking craziness. Now there's all sorts of stuff to go on. So first AM to win on tour since Phil. Second youngest win on PGA Tour since World War II, Jordan Spieth. First reigning U.S. Amateur champ to win on PGA Tour since Tiger Woods in 96. Good company. So now's where he's got the big questions. So with his win, he can now go into the Masters as a pro. If he had stayed amateur, he could go as the U.S. Am champ, but if he goes pro, he forfeits that right. He's in no matter what. He is now fully exempt on the PGA Tour through 2026. That's no matter what, I guess. He does not get his money. You can't retroactively be like, give me that $1.5 million. And he's now into the signature events, at least this year. I don't know about the rest. He also, this was earlier today, put out there was a statement on behalf of Nick Dunlap. After a life-changing last 24 hours, I've decided to withdraw from the Farmers Insurance Open. He was already scheduled to play that. I plan to return to Alabama to be with my family, friends, and teammates. Thank you to Farmers Insurance and American Express for giving me these opportunities. Now, I plan to return home to Alabama to be with my family, friends, and teammates. There's a lot to be said there. Does that just mean he's going there temporarily, or is he going back? Because if he's going back, that's a wild proposition. Because just getting into the signature events alone, he's going to get some money out of this. I would guess he's like, we're going to go home, we're going to regroup, we're going to talk about this for a day, and then we're going to decide what we do. And I'm guessing what he decides to do is come back out on tour. Because it's hard to pass up a guaranteed 3-year exemption. Pretty fucking crazy. He would be, like I said, he'd be in the next. There's 2 signature events coming after this week's Farmers, which, by the way, starts on Wednesday and ends on Saturday. What a great setup. We're going to have final round golf on Saturday. We're going to have the Royal Rumble on Saturday. And then we have the Conference Championships on Sunday. After that, then we have 2 signature events back-to-back. Pebble Beach, which is in the interim of the 2 football games, and then Waste Management Phoenix Open, which is always the Sunday, finishes on the Sunday before the Super Bowl. So if I'm him, I'm going home, I'm packing up, I'm calling Alabama, saying, sorry guys, I'm out, see ya, and I'm heading out to Pebble. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's move on to the next thing. All righty, time for some passing thoughts. Right off a late night cardio. I'm still sweating. Face is all red. Just threw the sweatshirt back on. It's hot. People. Woo. I don't know. Maybe this wasn't the greatest order of how to do things, to take a break late night and go into do some cardio and then come back. But, oh well. Here we go. I saw the original Fast and the Furious movie was on TV, and I was watching it for a little bit. I still like the original. There's a couple of the later ones that are all right. The Fast and the Furious is the original. Fast and Furious, I remember hating when I saw it. But the Fast and the Furious, that's a good one. And it had Ja Rule in it. And I was driving like the next day. I was like listening to Ja Rule for a while. Not long, like maybe like 45 minutes. And I just like, what happened to Ja Rule? And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to save my thoughts on Ja Rule. I'm going to look him up on the pod. Ja Rule, there he is. Jeffrey Bruce Atkins Sr. What's he been doing? Has he put out any CDs? He last put out a CD in 2012, which was the first one he put out since 2004. He was in a movie in 2020, Reboot Camp, which was an American satirical comedy film written and directed by Ivo Raza. It premiered at the 2020 Austin Film Festival, where it won Comedy Vanguard Audience Award for Best Film Comedy. He played himself. He was also in Trollland. That was a voice acting role. He was also, in 2013, he was in Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn. And then also in I'm in Love with a Church Girl. And it looks like he was a starring role in that one. So, has he been to TV? Tales as Justin. Seen a couple documentaries. Yeah. I don't know. Just wonder whatever happened to Ja Rule. The other night after dinner, the roommate and I stopped at the local brewery for a couple drinks. They always have some music playing, so I always like to stop in, see what it's all about. You know, it's kind of hit or miss. Some of it's kind of like folky music, which just isn't my thing. But this chick in there, she was killing it. Elizabeth Mary. You can look her up. She's a Madison area musician. She was belting out the hits. She had Free Fallin' going, Strawberry Wine. She played some Avicii, some Zach Bryan, some Pearl Jam. Oh, where is my baby? It was good. I love live music, especially like in a small setting where you can just kind of chill and it's not like blowing your ears out. Love it. Twitter. We're going Twitter, or X rather, whatever it is. If you limit your replies, like if you post something and then you turn off the replies, you're a giant pussy. A giant pussy. I can't stand when people do that. If you can't stand to take the heat for like some take you have, then just fucking go. Don't say it out in a public place. Like, you put it out on Twitter to get reactions, to get feedback. So if you can't handle the reactions to saying it, just don't say it. The reason I say this is because there was a post by a page, Challenge YCL, which is, I believe, they're a communist page. Challenge YCL. Let me look them back up here. Challenge YCL. I should do this before, so I'm ready. Oh, it's gone? I don't know. What the fuck? Whatever. Maybe I spelled it wrong. Did I spell it wrong? It helps if you spell it right. That really helps. Challenge comes with ease. Yeah, Challenge YCL there. Challenge is the publication of the Young Communist League of Britain since 1935, providing the latest articles and more by Marxist-Leninist youth. So idiots, in other words. They posted like this glowing remembrance of Vladimir Putin. Or not Vladimir Putin, Vladimir Lenin. And it's like, this dude was an awful person. Awful person. I mean, you can even like go with the assumption that communism is good. It's not. But you go with that assumption. The guy was in charge of the Red Terror, which killed anywhere from like Some estimates are as low as 40,000, just 40,000. Many estimates are up to 200,000 people that were just executed in the years of 1918 to 1922 when Lenin took over Russia. And some estimates, the high side says as many as 2 million. This isn't a guy to fucking praise. Fucking idiots. Idiots. What do I want to do next? We're going to save that till last. Oh, I got really excited, people. I got a garage fridge. I was pumped. I tell you. It's up and going. I'm pumped to have a spot in the summer for beer. Garage and back porch beer season is under full effect. I actually had to pull them in. Had to pull my beers inside a little bit because it's been so cold. But I am pumped for my garage fridge. And to do that, I had some stuff that was just sitting in. It was like a big cabinet. Was sitting in my garage. And that was right where I wanted to put the fridge. And it turns out I actually couldn't put it there because the cord wasn't long enough. So I did all this for nothing. But I still need to get rid of this stupid piece of thing. So I just drug it out to the end of my driveway. I also had like an old flat top griddle that wasn't working right. I've since replaced. I put that on there. I took a picture. I posted it in my town's Facebook page. I was like, anybody wants it, come get it. Like 35 minutes after the post was approved, the griddle was gone. And I was like, no way, it's gone already. And as I'm looking out there, someone is showing up to pick up the cabinet. It was out there for like 45 minutes. It was incredible. You people out there in the world are incredible. I'm just going to start doing a test. Just start putting hunks of shit out there. Just everything that I don't ever want. I'm just going to put it at the end of my drive and be like, take it if you want it. And just see how fast it goes. It was incredible. Tomorrow, or the day this comes out, is the New Hampshire GOP primary, New Hampshire Republican primary. Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy have both dropped out of the Republican race and are now endorsing Donald J. Trump. So this is going to be a one-on-one matchup. It is going to be Trump versus Nikki Haley. Haley's the former governor from South Carolina. She's awful. And this is, I think, from my understanding, is kind of her last chance at it. She's tracking very bad in South Carolina, which I think is the next primary after this. So I think if she doesn't do well here, it could be over. Trump was a big winner in the Iowa caucuses. Caucuses and primaries are different. It's the way voting is done. Caucuses are like a head count, hand count. I don't know. It's a little weird. I struggle to pick up with it. There's 22 Republican delegates up for grabs in the Republican primary. So is then the 3rd of February is the South Carolina, the 6th of Nevada. The 6th of February is Nevada. But there's a Republican on the 8th of Nevada? Oh my gosh, now they've got all different dates for these people. Super Tuesday is March 5th. That's a big one because that's a bunch of states. But I think this is pretty important. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. You'd have to imagine, I think it was in Iowa, it was Trump 51, DeSantis 23, Haley 19 or 18, and Vivek like 8%. And now obviously every state's different, but the Vivek people I would have to imagine are Trump voters now. DeSantis is probably, I don't know, maybe 50-50 split, goes one way or the other. But it'll be interesting. Just interesting to see how it turns out. I like following I like following elections. Politics themselves are kind of maddening, but elections I am fascinated by. I love the statistics, the demographics, who votes for who, why they vote for that. I find that very, very interesting. I saw that R-Truth has a child in college, and this young man plays for Penn State University Greater Allegheny. And as a junior, this young man, Chris Killings, Ron Killings' son, scored his 1,000th point over PSU Du Bois. 17 points and 6 assists that day. And R-Truth was there. He was there. I think this comment, because I think when I was at Alfred University riding the bench there, I think we played Penn State Greater Allegheny. Not sure. We played some Penn State school. I can't remember what, but 1,000 points as a junior. Not bad. Not bad. Speaking of WWE, Royal Rumbles this weekend. Saturday's the Royal Rumble. Who's going to win? CM Punk going to win? Cody Rhodes? I honestly don't know. And I like it that way. I would imagine those two are high up on the list, but I've been checking it out, intermittently, and I'm happy to say I don't really know what's going to go on going into it. I think there's a fatal four-way. Is it? Yeah, I think it's fatal four-way matches here. I think it's Reigns versus I forgot his name. Yeah, that guy. LA Knight, Randy Orton, and AJ Styles. Yes, I think that's that. So I'm pumped. I love the Royal Rumble. Favorite WWE pay-per-view. Cannot wait. And that's all I had. So let's go wrap this thing up. Closing time, everybody. Thank you guys once again. Appreciate all the support, as support through my dark days here with my Packers. So thank you guys for watching, listening, and coming and hanging out. Always thank you to producer Kevy. Big appreciation there. Back next week. Before we go for that, remember Liquid IV 20% off. Promo code OWH. Next week we got the conference championships. We got the Chiefs and the Ravens. I'll take the Chiefs. And then we got the 49ers and the Lions. I'll take the 49ers. Chiefs 49ers in a rematch of a couple of years ago. We have golf in a prominent time slot. The Royal Rumble is going to be on. So fun stuff. We got Flyers. We got UNC basketball. We got all sorts of stuff. So looking forward to another week next week. So until then, peace.